It's all over! After 2 hard-fought rounds and 8 events, the winner and new Marble League Showdown champion is the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast! If you got a big take of your own, email the show at
itgetsbigtakes@gmail.com.
I'm your host, Commander Wolf. I'm here with Brendan, and let's let it...
Whoa, 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 whoa! Welcome, everybody, to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. My name's Term.
And I'm Commander Ghost.
We're here to wrap up the showdown, and we're going to have a great time. And, what do you guys say?
Let's let it roll.
All right.
I'm not actually Term, although my impression was super good. I'm actually Commander Wolf.
Yeah, well done on that, by the way.
Thank you. And your impression of me was also spot on. I couldn't tell the difference.
Aw.
I might have been able to tell the difference between me and Term. I might have been.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
When do I ever say whoa, 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 whoa? When?
In the last episode with us, you did.
Yeah, we did.
We did? Oh, right.
Yes, we
did.
are.
Oh, fuck. No, yeah, you're right.
I mean,
Because you told me to say whoa, 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 whoa.
also, Sky's here. He didn't say his name, but Sky's here.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. Although I'm sure our viewers know my voice by this point. At least I hope you guys do.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Adu, by the way. If Adu is listening to the show, hi, welcome. Adu is more important than any of us. You better leave in the shout out to Adu or I'm going to be mad.
Oh my god. Go!
Hey, shout out to Adu, but all jokes aside, wait, Adu or EduGJ?
It's the same person.
Adu, the same person. He's the guy who emails in. He makes the shows what they are.
Yeah, I mean, I love that guy. He has a crazy voice, but,
He's a legend.
all right, so, everybody, welcome to the wrap-up of the Marble League Showdown. This is a collaboration that we did earlier in the season, and as you guys know, we have done fantasy picks, and unfortunately, as a Let It Roll representative, we have lost. Wolf, do you have the final scores?
I do. After all the events, MSW had 301, while Let It Roll had 283. So it was pretty close.
I have never been sadder in my life.
I've never been happier in my life.
But,
man.
yeah, I mean, this is our first, Marble League Showdown competition that we're doing. And we're definitely going to wrap this up with a Sam Marble Rally one by the end.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
Are we were wrapping this show up with fantasy picks for SMR?
Maybe. It's the next thing coming.
I mean, we don't even know who's competing in SMR, but
Yeah,
I mean, I'd like to think that I have an edge in that, given that I represent Ghost Plasma on Twitter. So
Well, that's
Okay.
true. We got the brains of the whole operation. You guys are going down.
Yeah, maybe we'll do the same thing that you guys were first saying about we'll do like the ×3, ×2, like the regular type of
That'd be nice.
yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what,
with
though?
a lot more teams.
I will
it could
say-
be, a lot more marbles to be more interesting.
I will say last SMR, I sat down at like race 6 or like no, whatever like 2 races before the end was, and I was like, Super Bowl gonna win this motherfucker, and he won. So my predictive expertise in SMR has been on point once.
Proud of you.
All right, so yeah, let's get into Marble League Showdown, man. Not
yeah,
gonna lie
you
about
did have
that.
us in the first half, not gonna lie.
But yeah, you guys, they ended up just killing us, especially with the Pinkies. Pinkies came out of nowhere, but what you got, Hector?
I mean, just getting into the first event, you guys had the best and the worst of outcomes. You had Team Galactic, which was a very lucky pick from you going first in the draft, but you also had the Snowballs. And
Well.
frankly, need I say more?
No.
I
not
mean,
much would be said.
in the Snowball's defense, they, even with their rather poor performance, they still finished in the top half. So, like, that should... So, I mean, like, it was still a pretty good pick.
Oh my god, someone should... Oh my god. if you're watching this, go to like 2 minutes in the Showdown Part 1 video. Just watching the snowballs race. I don't even understand how you be this slow. Like, they were going against Team Primary, Balls of Chaos, not your best 5-meter sprint competitors. Oh my god, they're like 3 seconds behind. Oh my, I can't even. That pick, when I saw that, I thought it was over. I immediately was like, okay, we lost this. We're taking the L on this year. Because I mean that it's hard to be that last. It's hard to be that far in last place in 5-meter sprint. So definitely not our best pick, but Galactic kind of made up for that.
I think with the 5-meter sprint, it was super impressive to see that C got the record from Green Eye, I believe it was, and it did not translate to the final. But I did love the wild card aspect of Showdown this year, where one team made the final that was above the best of the worst, which Astron showed out. Lights came on, stars came out, and he shined out for Team Galactic, got that gold. What you got, Hector?
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned this in our Let It Roll wrap-up episode, but the wildcard thing's been going on since 2020, and it's a really good addition. I mean, particularly since 3 times in a row for individual events, the team that got the wildcard went on to get the win overall.
The wild card. Yeah,
so the wild card of the best of the worst, like the 4th spot in the final, because they only have 3 heats, so they need a 4th team to go through to the final. So they take the best of the worst, and every time they did that, at least for the first 3 times, there were 2 race events in 2020. The wildcard won both times, and I was really excited to see that trend was keeping going with the first race event of the 2021 Showdown.
Yeah, Hector, as I said before in past episode, King of Crap Mountain just started to turn that from crap to gold. And very proud of those teams, especially Astron, because Sky, I know, notoriously hates Astron.
I don't hate Astron.
Why do you hate Astron?
No, I don't hate any marble on Team Galactic, but I did say in a former episode that if Celestial were to join Team Galactic, he would replace Astron.
Yeah.
That's all I said.
He said he would get rid of him in a heartbeat.
No, I didn't.
Heartbeat is not a long amount of time.
Very short.
That is true, Brendan.
No, I'm just pointing it out. Also, I want to point out while I'm here, the Cobalts almost won that. Okay, they were about 5 tenths behind. It was actually 9 minus 2, so 7 tenths or thousandths. It was like thousandths, actually.
Yeah,
it was very close.
Not tenths. It's like 7 thousandths of a second behind. Okay, and you'll see this trend as we talk about through all the events for how good the Cobalts are, and even when they didn't win, I hit my mic, how close they were to winning always. But that's like, if you can compete as a team validly with the likes of Team Galactic, whether it be Astron or any of the other better racers, I mean that's impressive, and that's worth talk when it comes to. I mean, we're going to see them in the qualifiers, but I really think you could look for them to really be in the Marble League, the get past qualifiers this year, because that's not often do you see Marbles compete against Team Galactic that well.
Yeah. The Cobalts, I told you, once we were drafted teams, they were running angry, man. They were pissed off about the whole. They were supposed to be from winners of Showdown, getting rated in the qualifiers. They changed the whole qualifiers up on them, and they were running angry. They were pissed off, and this is exactly why we drafted them. And back-to-back Showdowns, that's nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah, I mean, it really showed that anger when we got into Event 2 funnel spinning, because Gnome, out of nowhere, taking home the gold. Damn.
You mean out of Gnomeware? Yeah, that was bad. Sorry, guys.
It wasn't the worst pun I've heard on a Marble podcast, so you know what?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Let's snowball into the next event.
Okay,
All right, I
and
beat it.
anyways, so let's talk about another surprise performance. Leap from the Jungle Jumpers got third. That was pretty good. Jungle Jumpers aren't very good at marble racing.
But they suck at marble racing, don't they?
I mean,
So-
you call that a surprise, though, because Leap has been amazing in the funnels for so many times. Like, besides the time when Leap leapt off the tower for the funnels in the qualifiers for 2020, which did cost the Jungle Jumpers their place in the league, Leap has been amazing in funnels. Like, one in the qualifiers, nearly one in the Showdown.
That's
I
fair.
feel
That's
like-
fair.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Leap got his redemption on this season. Just
Absolutely.
based off of the qualifiers, where he literally fell off a cliff, and R.I.P. Leap, but that was a great redemption story in my opinion.
Agreed.
Yeah. Another redemption story.
I'm looking at funnel spin right now, and Leap had a pretty bad funnel spin until the last couple of funnels, where he just started to hold on through. It was the first green funnel. He went from almost dead last to actually first for a second there. So I mean, that's a good to see. Good because like that team, Jungle Jumpers are good. Okay, and they're stupid. I usually qualify them as stupid.
Okay, I'm gonna have to stop you there.
No, let's not insult the intelligence of any marbles here.
Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
No, like there's a stupid, but they do stupid things. They do a lot of stupid things as a team, and they lose so
Okay.
much because of that. So it's hard. So it's nice to see them recover a little bit like this and actually perform well. Because in honesty, they don't usually perform well, and they can't usually turn around a race like that when they're starting so far behind.
S-Man's gonna be so pissed.
S-Man gonna
Yeah.
be very pissed, but I mean,
Is this why he quit?
Dang.
maybe.
S-Man, if you're listening, I love you, bro, but I've got to agree with Brendan on the fact that Jungle Jumpers don't usually perform well. I will draw the line at calling them stupid, though. That's completely over the top.
Okay, fine. I've said worse about certain teams in the Marble League. Waff knows that.
I do need to say one thing. The Pinkies blew it. They got second place in the funnels, but they had such a great opportunity to just dunk every marble down. They had a great positioning throughout the whole event, where they were just kind of like, circling around the funnels and just staying right behind people that they could just dunk in, like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, and I feel like they didn't capitalize on that, even though they did get second.
Well, I mean, I don't know. And we've talked about, I've talked about funnels before and about the strategy for funnels, and it usually ends up being, and the Pinkies do this very well, especially in the last funnel here, which I happen to be watching right now. Pinkies do this very well, and because they entered the funnel very early, but they held on for second place.
Exactly.
They did a good job letting other marbles' momentum keep them moving, right?
Yep.
And that's usually the strategy for funnels. You have to do that because if you just rely on your own momentum, well, eventually you're going to tire out. You have to let other marbles, especially ones that come in the funnel after you, kind of through collisions, guide you towards the outside. You want to get on the outside of them. All right, and if you knock into them, then you get to take their momentum to the outside, and they're going to fall inside, because if you move outside, they're going to hit you and they're going to fall inside. And they did that very well. So even though they did not end in first, I will say I think they did at least show enact the right strategy for funnels very well.
Yeah, I think Rangers have pulled like the same move a bunch of times, and like they really like kill it with just dunking marbles into the funnel. They proved it in 2020. It wasn't that great on 2021, but we always have like a good strategy, and I think the Pinkies kind of like took notes. They watched some film, and they've really had themselves in a great place to win the gold on that event, but they just couldn't close it out because coffee's for closers only.
Coffee's for closers only.
Yeah. I mean, one last point I want to bring up before we end the segment by laughing at the snowballs being trash again. Team Primary. I want to bring up Team Primary because Mary has a reputation for being fast in slow events and slow in fast events. But Mary redeemed herself really well in the funnels in the Showdown this year. 4th place is nothing to sniff at when you've got that kind of reputation.
I ain't seasoned at that, man.
No.
Agreed.
Who picked the primary? Do you remember? Did you guys
It
pick
was us.
primary?
They had primary. We had primary.
we picked
We had Balls of
Primary.
Chaos and Primary. We had the whole rivalry.
Remember,
Yeah.
they didn't want to pick. They were gonna pick primary. Like, the only reason they were gonna pick primary is if they had to.
Oh, that's true. We
Yeah,
did.
that was a
kind
mistake.
That was a mistake.
Okay,
So,
well, you guys lost, so.
Yeah, well, we'll get to it, but
Let's get to it.
so with the relay snowballs, they got gold. Galactic, they did live up to their name. They got 5th.
Black 5th.
Yes, they did.
And I think the relay is a great event, but I don't know. When it's the B League, I just wasn't a huge fan. I don't know. I feel like there's like less to. I don't know. It's not one of my teams, so it's like, what do you guys got about it?
I mean, I really like the relay as an event, just because I have a soft spot for it because it was the Green Ducks' first gold medal. But I do want to bring up that the Bumblebees completely blew it in the final. Like, they had, by a long way, the best time in the heats. Like, they beat the next best team by almost 0.2 seconds, which in the race like this is a lot of time, and then completely blew it, dropped back to 8.778 seconds, which is half a second slower than they had before. Like, come on, coffees for closers.
Put that coffee down.
I mean, you're not wrong, but like I still am proud of the Bumblebees for making it up that far. Like it's quite an achievement.
True.
I want to say this is something that really upsets me, like really gets me mad, is the Snowballs got gold in this event, which is, you'd think that made me happy, but I mean, this is relay race, so yes, it's a little different from sprint, but it's the same base idea. You want to be fast. So if they're capable of getting gold in relay, then why are we last by like a large margin in 5-meter sprint? I mean, that really bothered me, because that either speaks to, I don't know what it speaks to, but I know that whoever's coaching is not choosing the right marble for sprint, because obviously there's a fast marble on the team. If you can beat Cobalt, Galactic, Midnight Wisp, you name the teams, in relay, then you have a fast marble for sprint. And why is that marble not racing in sprint?
You want to talk about coaching options, man? You want to talk about coaching options? I am a Rangers fan. Rango's a clown, dude. This guy's making the same mistakes that he made in the regular Marble League. I know we're here to talk about Showdown, but this guy's a clown.
Term really in there, buddy.
I'm sick of this guy, man. Get him off. Get him out. Get him out.
I mean,
All right, I'm gonna have to cut the coaching chatter. We'll save that for a certain triathlon. But I'd like to bring up something that hasn't come up yet, and that is our boys, the Turtle Sliders. Disappointing
Let's
showing in the
go.
5-meter sprint, but oh my, the team that everybody thought was slow and just guaranteed to take 12th in Showdown, they kind of showed up, 6th place.
Yeah,
Nobody's talking about that.
They flipped the script with the solar flares. Probably the worst team in Marvel Racing. Bad pick on our end, but we got Hector.
Yeah. I mean, following on from that, Sky, Turtle Sliders, for the first half of the Showdown, Turtle Sliders had us in the first half. Like, they were basically up to their usual level of performance in the first 2 events. But 6th place in the relay, and then first medal ever for Frankie and the Sliders in block pushing.
Yeah, definitely.
I just rewatched the event, and they said it was their first medal in 17 events. That is atrocious.
Yeah.
But I'm happy for Frankie and the boys, man. They're out there getting medals now.
Yeah, Frank and the boys.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone needs that first medal. So while I do not like the Turtle Sliders at all, because they're a terrible team, I'll congratulate them. They get the first medal. That feels good. And you know what? Maybe that's a direction for them. You know, they're going to come off that medal. feeling, have more confidence, feel like they can do it. Would I still probably pick the snowballs over the turtle sliders? Yes, which is pretty sad. But it's
I
wouldn't go talking
would
about
not.
the turtle sliders like that, or else Frank and the boys will be coming around to break your fingers.
I mean,
they can do whatever they want. They're probably gonna miss.
Snowball still would be the turtle sliders in the overall, so it's like.
Yeah, well, I heard the turtle sliders, their family, they actually make cement shoes. So, Brendan, watch your back.
Okay, I will. Yeah.
But let's move on to block pushing. There was one huge thing that happened in block pushing, and it was team primary. I don't know if you guys remember exactly what happened, but team primary went 2 races without all of their marbles going, and it was confirmed that it was Mary who did not race in both of those. I don't know if this was a meme moment or anything like that, but at this point, man, I just feel bad for Mary. And also, they finished ahead with 3 marbles while racing 4, while everybody was racing 4. So, I mean, this is something that could have changed up the standings, and I think it's something that JMR should have let happen. What do you guys think about this?
I agree. Coming out of roleplay, I do kind of hate that Mary is automatically always assigned, whenever a primary marble does bad. It's it was funny at first, but now it's why is it always got to be Mary? Because I'm pretty sure no one actually knew if that was specifically Mary or not. They just assigned it because they're known for being bad. And I kind of feel bad that it's just they're always the scapegoat. Oh, the primary did bad. It must have been Mary's fault. I cut Mary some slack.
For real, man. I mean, I am all in on their Twitter love with Snarl. I love Snary, man. That's yeah. I just hope that they're happy and she's getting past this. We got Hector.
I mean, I totally agree with you, Wolf, that they need to not put it all on Mary. If I might be misremembering this, but I think there was a thing about how they always schedule it so that certain marbles go as the last marble in any team, and that's why they were assigning it Mary. I might be misremembering that, but I'm not sure. But either way, in this situation, I would honestly go so far as to change it out so it wasn't Mary, because at that point it's just being excessively getting at Mary, I think.
Yeah. What you got, Brendan?
Okay, so a couple things. First of all, the first heat where they only ran out with 3 marbles, they actually still did better than the snowballs who ran out with 4. So
that's
just
what I'm
throwing it out
saying.
there, as much as I love a team, the snowballs, that is sad. That is about as sad as it gets. So snowballs on that. I don't know what that was, but I don't know. This is. I agree. You shouldn't throw it all on Mary unless you know for sure. It probably was Mary.
It was confirmed by JMR.
Okay, but
what I mean by that, not knowing is I feel like it's common knowledge at this point that some of the marbles who are very similar, they don't actually know for certain if they are in fact that marble. They even mixed up some of the raspberry racers at one point. They swapped names with the marbles because they just didn't know. And the primary are fairly similar, but is more so than the raspberry racers. So I could definitely see I definitely Hector might be right. They assign it canonically as the last marble is always this one. But in terms the name that was originally associated with said marble being Mary might not have actually have been Mary.
So no, I can cut in on that because I do know how they ordered them. It's they list it by the order they are in the roster. So it always goes captain first. I know Team Galactic's the easiest example for me, but it goes Cosmo, the captain, then Starry, then Astron, then Pulsar.
Gotcha.
So Pulsar would be the last one for us. And then another thing I wanted to bring up about this whole team primary thing was you could tell. If you go back and watch the video, you can see that the 4th marble of team primary is not quite like all the other ones. It's like slightly raised, or there's a gap between the third and fourth one, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, what were the officials doing?
Sky, are you saying that they're built different?
No, I'm not saying that they're built different at all. I'm just saying, I'm just looking. I'm trying to figure out, like, what the officials were doing. How were they, like, how could they not tell that there was a marble that wasn't ready to go?
I mean, sorry, go ahead, Hector.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, I could forgive him for that happening once, because, like,
yeah,
I assume it was an honest mistake. Like, there must have been some little defect on the marble that they used for it that just meant that it didn't roll down. I don't know why. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know exactly the specifics, but, like, I can forgive it happening once. Twice, though, that's when you need to start asking questions about what the hell they're doing.
I want to, because I was going to mention this before, we're talking about primary, but, I mean, what bothers me is this is just not the way a team needs to be. I mean, this is the team that wants to be in the Marble League. Yeah. Okay, and you can blame the officials for the lack of bringing a fourth marble down twice. That's like half the time. But I mean, that can't happen half the time. You can't as a team in block pushing not bring your fourth marble twice and then be like, okay, we should make it into the Marble League. That's not the sign of a team that works together. That's not a sign of the team that is practiced enough to be ready for an event like this. And like, no other teams have this problem. No other teams have this problem, and they all switch lanes, so it's not a lane problem either. So this is, when I see primary do this, I'm like, this is on primary. And whether you want to blame Mary specifically, or just primary's lack of ability to work as a team, or when they practice or whatever, if they do practice, I don't know. But I mean, this is not something that's like okay to look at, especially when it happens twice in one event. I mean, it's okay for Showdown, I guess, but if you do that in Marble League, well, then you're just a laughing stock.
I mean, you having brought up the fact that it was changing lanes every time, so we know it's not a lane problem. I'm not agreeing with this opinion, but people did voice the idea that it might have been rigged.
Cue the X-Files music!
Okay.
Ooh, well, that's a can of worms for.
Yeah, I think that's. I don't think we should get into that.
Yeah,
I think we should probably just leave the conversation here.
Well, I'll give my explanation for how I think it happened. I think it's been a while since I looked at it, so I could be wrong. But there are two easy explanations. One, after all this time, there's probably a small groove that's formed in the marble and it just rested on it. Two, the marbles, like, they're not all uniformly the same size, so maybe they were just a slight bit further back, and so the back marble was resting on a level part of the starting gate, and so when the rest of the team went, that marble just got stuck behind.
I did see that somebody posted that the team primary was not connected. Basically, there was the first three marbles, and there was a little tiny space in between the fourth marble. I'm not one to put conspiracy theories forth, but if it happens 2 times in one race, I'm going to be a little skeptical about it.
I don't think Yellow would ever do that. I think Yellow is way too much of a purist to ever intentionally
Dion
do
would
that.
do it?
Dion does not set up the races. As far as we've seen, Yellow is always the one who does that himself.
All right.
If Dion's interfering, I will be pissed. I will be pissed.
Yeah.
I also will say that when you talk about something like this, we don't want to go too much into this, but you have to use 2 perspectives to talk about this. Okay, there's when you talk about anything in Marble Sports, really, but especially stuff like this. The one perspective is you have to talk in role play. So if you talk in role play, this is all on primary or on the officials, but probably on primary because it happened twice only to them. Okay, if it happened to other teams as well, then you have to bring in the officials a little bit more. But I mean, if you talk in role play, it's about them. If you talk out of role play, and realizing that marbles, of course, aren't animate or whatever, that does bring up tough questions. I don't think Dion's involved, but that does bring up tough questions with why primary twice and no other team. How is that setup happen to cause that specific outcome?
Yeah, I mean, all good points. Like, it is a can of worms to open this, and I feel like we've talked about this enough. Do you guys want to hit a break and then come back with the second half of the showdown?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Oh, wait, real quick before we hit the break. did you guys like the head-to-head for block pushing, or do you want to do the 4 lanes, 4
Great
teams?
question.
Head-to-head.
I'm all in for head-to-head.
Head-to-head.
Head-to-head all the way.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. I'm more on head-to-head.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Why am I always the one that has to be contrary? But, by the way, we still got to get back to that shit with the triathlon and the blue eye or whatever. Because
Yeah, we're coming to that.
We're not
after
gonna
the
do that
break,
this
don't worry.
episode.
one of these days, because y'all bugging about that. But I would give a little validity to the 4 lanes, only because with the 4 lanes, marbles get to run more times. They get to run 4 times, and they get to pick. What is it? The best 2, or they add up all 4?
Best 2.
Yeah, the best 2, and that's good, because that means you really get to, as a team, assemble and show that you can have 2 good pushes, and also make some room for accidental pushes that aren't very good, and that's nice, and that allows for real performance value to come out, because block pushing is a very touchy event. Very touchy. It's hard to be good at block pushing. If you really get into it, how you need to be formed when you hit the block as a team, it's extremely hard to get that right. So I think 4 is nice. I'm not really on either side of this. It's hard to pick one because I like the head-to-head as well. But I think there's some validity for getting to go 4 times.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point. Ultimately, myself, I'm just wanting them to pick something and stick with it, because, like, they've changed it up so many times, like, it's completely f***ed up the records. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so yeah, let's head to break. We'll talk about triathlon and the rest of the events in Showdown Part 2 after we come back. All right, and we're back, and we're actually going to let it roll with some mailbags here.
It's time.
We got a couple repeat mailbaggers.
It's time to open the Let It Roll mailbag.
Take a look at this. Jesus Christ, that right there is the mail. Now let's talk about the mail. Can we talk about the mail, please, Mac? I'm dying to talk about the mail with you all day, okay?
I think the MSW podcast has one from, who was it?
Electric Angel.
Electric Angel. Yeah, we know her. She is amazing. And what she have to bring to the mailbag?
Well, I'm about to tell you. So she emailed in, big email, by the way, so this is a lot going on here. Subjected Pinkies related stuff for Showdown Part 2 podcast episode. Well, it just so happens this is Part 2.
Part 4 for us.
So her email writes in this Pinky ring, but she says, "Hey guys, it's Electric Angel from the Discord, and also the person who runs the Pinky Instagram and Twitter. Don't read the rest until you guys are talking about Showdown Part 2. We are. Man, my voice still needs to come back, so that sounds better. All right. Also, I apologize for the length of this email. Feel free to skip around. Now I'm going to read the whole thing. You get the time you deserve. Anyway, I was notified by a member of the JMA a couple weeks before the Showdown Part 2 about the Pinky Promise performance thing. Oh my god, we were just about to talk about that. I'm pretty sure he had authorization to message me concerning it was a whole plan between JMA and Greg Woods and the like. I think it's cool that the JMA is allowed to do stuff like this and help contribute to the lore even more. I hope you guys liked the poster I made, by the way, attached below. I'll have to send that to you guys. The worst part was waiting for the right time to post it. I was so scared of people criticizing the Pinkies for wanting to dance alongside being athletes. We'll talk about that. Overall, I'm quite happy with the Pinkies' performance in Showdown. Second place is nothing to scoff at. No, sir. I've been feeling extra motivated with the increased Pinky support. Pinky Promise is on par with Pinky Rosa, or average, as I'd call it. This proves to show how difficult it can be to be on par with Marble League marbles. Damn right. Pinky Toe certainly did not disappoint with a new event like Marble Cross. I say that wrong every time.
Marble Cross.
Thank you. I was quite disappointed that the Balls of Chaos went down. I thought they would be the biggest threat between Pinkies and the podium, really. Same case with Team Galactic. I was hoping someone would take down the Cobalts too, but seems like they're the immovable object of the Showdown this year. For the main league, I'm cheering for Mellow Yellow or Momo to win. But
Hey, like that.
Hey,
well, Mellow Yellow. Well,
Big take of the week.
They call me Mellow Yellow.
We'll have to wait and see how they perform in the Marble Cross. But we don't have to
wait anymore.
Yeah, the video's out. You can go watch it if you haven't already.
Man, this email's that old. Jeez.
Yeah, we postponed this one a while. All right, hope I'm able to be there when you guys read this email. Well, you're not here, but hopefully you listen to this recording.
She's here in spirit.
Yeah, in
nice
spirit.
wolf.
But if I'm not, I hope my email was understandable and you guys find some good talking points from it. Best regards, Electric Angel. Pinky's performance poster. Felinia's Marble Earth Culture Expo presents Kapinky Dance Showcase. Oh, okay. So this is why they missed one of the most important events in the Showdown.
This is the poster's actually in the video itself, and I remember, Term, you didn't have high opinions of this, right?
No, this team is a bunch of clowns. If they don't show up for the event, they need to get disqualified. This is absurd that they are... Oh, there's like some little rules in the rule book that we've never seen. We've never seen this rule book. That a coach is allowed to go? I mean, this is absurd. I don't understand it. We can't have multiple marbles run like Mandarin, Keto and Kenny, my boy, run in a bunch of events, but we can have maybe Rango just around and find out, I guess. And this is what the Pinkies did, and this is absurd. This is the most egregious thing that has ever happened in Marble League.
I wouldn't go that far.
Egregious, wow.
To happen in the B League.
Spell that, okay? Come on, man.
This thing is absurd. If your team doesn't show up, you don't get to perform, because teams show up and they care about this league and they are ready to show out, and they knock down teams like Galactic, the Cobalts, I forget who else, but it was top teams in the Showdown, just so this clown coach can relive his high school years, throw a football over a mountain.
Okay, I'm going to cut Term off there before he goes on too long ranting about this. We've heard it all before on the Let It Roll podcast. But one side note that I want to bring up, I did actually see the Pinkies Instagram posting that poster before the event, and then seeing that come out in the event as a thing going on, like, I was genuinely curious for a long time about whether or not that was a planned thing or not. So it's very interesting for me to finally get confirmation that Electric Angel actually knew about that beforehand, because that's just an interesting little feature, and one thing that I am very happy to have going on now, that particularly since I like to think that comes down to the fact that the fan account community has linked so much more with the JMA, particularly since we've got JMA members running fan accounts. So I love the fact that they're getting involved with this and bringing that link closer, because I just love the fact we're getting recognition.
Wait, just to cut in, sorry, and just real quick, where is the poster in the video? I don't see it.
It's not in the video. It's on their social media.
Oh,
that's on their Instagram.
Bad. Yeah, because Waf said it was in the video. I was just wondering. All right, go ahead.
Nope. I agree, Hector. Completely agree. I love that. I mean, I feel better about the situation knowing that sprouted as a result. Although I will say I also completely agree with Term, especially since we had a competition going about this, and it did affect the standings of said competition. There would have been a 3-point swing our way had Pinky Promise not competed, and the Pinkies just didn't get queued.
Okay, so I was going to take a medium approach on this, not to either side, but then Term got me fired up, and so I'm like, all right, because his rant affected me. But you cannot not show up for an event and then put the coach in. First of all, it's a terrible precedent, because now what? What's next? You take someone from the audience that's a fan because all the marbles had to go like play freaking tetherball. I mean, I don't know, like that. You can't set a precedent like that. Where just we can just it's good for lore, let's just have a replacement. It's terrible. And like imagine that in any other sport besides marble sports, especially since we're trying to make marble sports seem as valid as any other sport. Imagine if nobody, not just like one or two, nobody showed up from the team. They just didn't come. How do you not come?
DNQ.
So you can't do that. I don't really know. Like, I mean, like Electric, I love you. You're a gem. All right, you're great. But I personally have to say that the precedent for just letting a coach compete, because all the other marbles are like, oh, okay, we have to dance today. We can't do triathlon. Like, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, especially since now you leave this room for any of that to happen. Now the Rangers and Savage Beaters can go and drink together during one of the events, and you could just let both of the coaches play. You can't do that. You can't set a precedent like that. You can't allow people to think like that about the events, because now you're not setting a nice basis for how things are going to work consistently in JMR. So that's definitely a problem, in my opinion. But I mean, hey, for a coach, not a bad performance.
I mean, the dude killed it. He got in the 6th. And, the only benefit of that is I think Celestial, the Galactic intern, might get a shot. Just, becoming an amazing marble. He was on our last episode. He said that he was going to become the supreme leader and captain of Team Galactic. And, I love the ambition, but, this is setting a bad precedent. And it is like, hey, our whole team can't show up or won't show up for an event, and we're just still allowed to compete. This is ridiculous. This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen, and this is I can't believe that JMR let it happen, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around it 5 weeks later. What you got, Wolf?
I do. There's two things. One, I believe that like what might have happened was they might have grabbed them by mistake, and they only realized after filming. It's like, well, shoot. What do we do about this? Possible, yeah. So I guess oh well, we actually grabbed Pinky Rosa by mistake. It's like, well, just say that hey, just the team was off dancing. There we go.
That's,
I mean, I've seen how Bill's Mafia works, man, and they're just slamming through tables. And I've seen Josh Allen go through one of those tables and then start an NFL game and then just throw 5 touchdowns. So, I don't know how this is working for the Pinkies, but, if they're slamming through tables, dancing with fans, they need to get with it and get into the event.
The other thing I wanted to mention was the idea of a fan getting on the team. I have this image in my head, 2 commentators watching. He's like, it looks like a fan is now taking the place of the Pinkies on the field. Oh, really? Is it a Pinky fan? No, it's a Rangers fan for some reason. Okay, what's their name? Stan. Stan.
I love that idea.
That's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to drag this debate on too long. I've already made my opinions on this very clear on Let It Roll's episode on the Showdown. Just to summarize it, I like the moment it created of having the coach present. I agree it's not a good precedent set, but I like having it in. But I do want to kind of move things on a bit from talking about the Pinkies, because there's two other big stories really, for the 3 other big stories even by the triathlon results, and they all relate to the podium. Number 1, Aqua from the Oceanics got a bronze medal in a water event.
Let's go.
Number 2,
that's true.
Yeah. Number 2, Turtle Sliders came out, followed up their medal with another one, Dash,
show up,
the legend.
Show up.
And third thing, the Solar Flares. We know that they have been not a good team so far, but the exception to the Solar Flares' descent into the depths of the bottom spot in the Showdown has been Ember, who seems to be the only Solar Flare who's capable of doing anything well, and proved that by getting a gold medal in the triathlon.
Alright, I will say it's worth noting that both the Solar Flares and the Turtle Sliders, equally terrible teams that should be removed from anybody's vision, it was nice to see them get a medal. I will say that. So I can't knock the fact that they have it in them to perform well. Also, to see the Oceanics do, and they actually had a pretty good Showdown, the Oceanics, but to see them do good in a water based event, because they did not do well in. Did they do well in diving? I actually don't
They
remember.
They did
really
not,
didn't.
unfortunately.
Yeah, because I feel like I remember them not doing well in diving.
They completely
But one more
plummeted.
quick point that is worth mentioning in regards to the Pinkies. There's a reason there's a backup. There's a backup. Every team comes with a backup marble.
Yeah, I
Like,
forgot
they
about
all
that.
It
come with
wasn't
that.
a reserve. It was the coach.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
That's what
Like,
he's
the
saying.
reserve's not even there. Even the reserve is not there. Like, what? Like, I mean, I get it. Listen, and I don't like it, but I get it. If all the 4 Pinkies, because they have such a tight, flamboyant bond, go off and dance, yeah, that's fine. Okay? I don't love it, but it can tolerate it if they leave the reserve there. Okay? But,
Yeah.
I mean, if they're...
It's like Celestial, like just being ready to go. All Team Galactic, they want to just go hang out at space stuff. Celestial's down there to Earth, and he's ready to race whenever he's needed. And it's absurd that the Pinkies were even allowed to compete with their coach. I just think it's ridiculous, and I think that's also what won you guys the entire competition. So
No,
Okay,
it
I
was
would
only a
not go
3-point
too-
difference.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's not take it there.
It's 6.
No. Trust me.
No.
I plan on getting into the whole through the competition. I'll get into that.
Yeah.
I've got something planned.
Yeah.
All right, let's move.
Mr. Fantasy Sky can get into that later, but for now,
Oh yeah.
I wanna finish
I've
off
run
this
the
kid.
simulations.
Let's move on to the next event.
yeah, let's finish off talking about the triathlon with one more jab at the snowballs. Last again. Ha ha ha. Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah, next one, diving. Yeah, I'm just going to say this is a joke, and we're not even going to really talk about it, because I want to know what event you guys would replace diving with. If you came up with a new event, or if you had to replace it with an existing event, but I'd rather hear a new event from you guys.
Before we do that, I do want to kind of bring up the 2 important things that happened in this. One, they improved it by actually having a stop scenes like on the target hitting, so it's actually more watchable. And
Yeah.
2, they changed the rules where you couldn't, if you landed in another marble's target, that counted as a 0. That was something that was not in the original run, so there were changes to the
Yeah.
event.
I
Yes.
agree that those were pluses, like, in general. But the event stunk. It was good in theory. It didn't work out well. What would you guys replace it with? Because I don't even want to talk about the event, to be honest.
Okay, so... I mean, we talked about this on the show for a minute, because diving, obviously watching diving from our perspective sucked. It was not fun. There was no enjoyment factor from that. I mean, a little bit, but not much. Most of that is because of the badly imagined camera work. It was not good. And but I don't want to. It's not like Black Hole Funnel, because Black Hole Funnel is bad, and I don't care where you put the camera. Black Hole Funnel's bad. It's a bad event. It's terrible. It should never be mentioned. But diving,
Hard disagree
I feel
on
like,
that, but keep going.
If you think Black Hole Funnel's good,
I love Black Hole Funnel.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh my
dear.
god, Brendan just threw up.
No. Well, this is not happening, right? This is not.
I've known about this for a while. I listened to Reddit Roll.
I need a safe word. Green ducks. No, limers.
My safe word's pineapple.
Okay, why do you change your safe word of green ducks to limers, dude? Come on.
Because I love green ducks, but then I realized that for people who know me and I talk about how limers are one of my favorite teams, it'd be weird if I use green ducks. Okay.
Well,
so anyway,
one more side note. Saying that you like the green ducks, you have just gone up infinitely in my perception of you. So thank you.
Wow.
Oh, I love the green ducks. The first podcast I ever did. I'll tell you. We're gonna
The first episode, yeah.
First episode I ever did. I don't know if you ever listened to it. Don't. It sucks. But I screamed the praises of the Green Ducks. I was like, this is the rookie team that's going to podium finish this year. And what did they do?
They did.
My voice lost there. But anyway, I want to talk about diving because I think diving can be fun to watch. I think diving can be fun to watch, but there needs to be the correct set of camera work. It has to and I don't really know. Obviously, I don't really know how that looks like, but they need to do something so that it's easy to see the marbles hit the you need to put the camera in the water actually, because what goes on is like you don't put the camera in the water, the marbles hit the water and the water goes all blah, 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 you know, like I mean, like in essence. So like if it does that, then you can't see through the water, and that's how they viewed it. And so if you have a camera always in the water and framed correctly, then you're going to be able to see better the marbles actually smoothly fall through the water, hit the targets. And then you might want to slow that down. You might want to really increase frames there. I think it can be good, but the camera work has to be better executed so you can really visualize easily on the screen the path of the marbles from when they hit the water to when they hit the target. Otherwise, I mean, they should have just thrown collision in there because collision's actually good.
I think this is the dumbest bullshit you've ever said. Diving is an awful event. And even when they included the freeze frames, it doesn't show exactly where anybody hit. It doesn't do anything to make the event better. We have said in the past, let's do skee ball, where you have like a rib and you go like head to head, you know, two marbles at a time, with one team going against each other like they did block pushing back in the day. And it just doesn't make any sense to have synchronized anything if everything's going to be subjective about these teams not hitting the water at the same time.
I can't help but agree with you, Term, because I did not like diving at all, but suffice to say, we've got differing opinions on this, but we all agree that the way they did it was not good. So I feel like we should just get back in. I feel like we should just summarize this one and move on to the next event. Snowballs, credit where credit's due. They did get the win. Very good win, mind you.
True. Very true.
They didn't melt
in
the water.
I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to bring it up.
Alright, so, yeah,
I'm going to cover it when we get after the last event. I'm going to real quick. I want to mention something about the snowballs and the other teams, but we'll get there.
Alright. So, yeah, Moogles was the next event, right?
Yep.
Arip was the big story.
Alright, yeah. So yeah, let's get into Moogles. We have said in the podcast before that it is improperly named, but I did like the event. It's basically just a drag race right down the sand. But I mean, in my opinion, need more bumps.
Maybe moguls. Maybe it should have had moguls.
Yeah.
Maybe it should have had one mogul, like literally one.
Well, no, they call it sand mogul. Do they call it this mogul race? But we call it moguls, like one or two, maybe.
Either will do.
Just kind of sprinkle them in, even like, you know.
I'm just trying to figure out if you need one or plural moguls.
I mean, I would have been good with either.
Okay, that's fair.
I will say another big one is that Snowflake got second, which is quite impressive because, you know, water really grabs sand very easily. So, but even after all that, they managed to make it down there pretty good. So, you know, props to them.
Yeah, props to Snowflake for being the first snowball to not come last in an individual event in the Showdown.
Yeah, I mean,
oh my god, I can't believe this. Like event 6 too. Here's my problem with Sand Moguls, besides the fact that it wasn't Sand Moguls. Because, you know, the drag racing aspect, I mean, that's fun. That's fun to watch. At least it wasn't not exciting to watch. But if you notice, and this is true, the marbles all fell towards the right side, the far side of the track. And I have it. I'm kind of watching it here over the last couple minutes. But like most of the, if you just pull up little clips of the marbles, most of the marbles are hugging that right side, the far side of the track. And so if you're gonna make something that doesn't resemble the name of your event, but it's still a decent idea, drag racing, at least do it right. Okay, there shouldn't be a lateral tilt. And so that bothered me. That kind of took it from me being like, this is not really moguls, but it's exciting, to, come on, man, like, you didn't even like make a flat track correctly. And you guys have been doing this for like 20 years, no, like 6 years. You've been making sand tracks for a long
definitely
time.
20.
6 years is longer than anybody else on the planet ever in history has made sand marble tracks. You guys have them beat by probably 6 years. So, I mean, like, make it right, okay? You could see the tilt. Like, you could see the marbles all hug the right side for, like, at least half the race. And that's not... That track design made me a little upset.
Brennan, one thing I think both me and you can agree on for once. Mellow Yellow is the fastest marbles in the world on the sand moguls. I mean, they were absolutely absurd. But let's move on. Marble Lacrosse. That was the last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Marble
The
Lacrosse.
debut of Marble Lacrosse.
The debut of Marble Lacrosse. And
I love
what
how
an
it
event
debuted
that
in the
was.
Showdown. That's funny.
Oh, yeah.
I actually enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
Being able to have, like, give something for the fans to look forward to for even the main event. Like,
Yeah.
because I always feel like Showdown is kind of underloved, underappreciated, but being able to, like, have the big marbles be able to look down and say, okay, this is how Marble Lacrosse is going to work. There's actually a point to watch Showdown now.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think a really big plus for this was like we all, I think a lot of us had like the illusion in our head that it was going to be an all, like with the exception of the elevator course, it'd be like an all sand or all dirt race that was thrown around a lot. Like, so having that illusion broken and like revealed to us in this made it much easier to not be disappointed once we actually get to the main event. So that was honestly very, very smart to put it here first.
100% agree. Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, it also helped that it was just a good event regardless of that, but 100% agree.
Yeah.
It was a fun event to watch. It was exciting. The track's well designed. I like the 2 sand parts. If I want to talk about how to improve, because I mean improvement is always important. To really make sure it's different from like a Marbula 1. I would say, first of all, you need to make the track a little bit longer so it has more of a Marbula, like a cross-country kind of feel. Also, I would like to see some more features. So a longer track, but maybe incorporate that glass bridge. Okay, maybe incorporate a honeycomb section. Okay, not too crowded to where you can't have some straights of long racing, but just enough so that it seems like very different from Marbula 1 type stuff. That's all.
I really completely disagree with you on that. I think the short track was amazing. I think that's they tried to do it with 2020 Marble League with the marathon, and I think this one was so much better. It still led for a lot of like lead changes, a lot of excitement in the race, and it showed that you don't need to have a long track to make it exciting. What you got, Hector?
I mean, last little point to make about the track is that I love the fact that they made the 2 sand sections really distinct from one another. So like the first one was very reminiscent of the Season 2 Raceway, just a big open sand boulevard, whereas the second sand section was more sand rally area and just keeping going. But just to bring it off the course section, we do need to talk a little bit about the race because results were impressive. Starry pulling it out, Midnight Wisps doing something, Pinky's getting the win. But one point I want to bring up as a Green Ducks fan, I have newfound empathy for the Midnight Wisps after how Marble Lacrosse went in both the Showdown and the main league.
Yeah, they did not do great. But hey, Wolf, Brendan. This has been an amazing wrap-up show, and we're doing this again, right? I mean, this is like kind of a staple.
100% we're doing this again.
Oh yeah. No, I actually want to. This is what I want to make a point about. When it came down to the final standings, I'd like to pitch something to you guys. Mm-hmm. When it comes, as I think we're doing SMR fantasy, right? That's on the table at this point.
Yeah. On the table.
All right. So here's my thing. Going into Showdown, we can both agree that Midnight Wisps and Galactic were the fan favorites, right? They were going to be our top 2 picks pretty much no matter what.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Had we gone first, we would have won.
Had you gotten first?
Yeah, there was a 12-point deficit from Team Galactic to Midnight Wisp, so it would be a 24-point swing.
But wouldn't the order?
Wow.
But if we picked in a different order, we also probably would have picked different teams as well. So
I doubt it, because your guys' first pick was. I mean, we could do this all day, but your guys' first pick was Oceanic.
Sky, you're being petty, dude. Come on.
So low. No, but no. There's a reason I bring this up. There's a reason I bring this up because I was going to talk about how we do the draft. I feel like we should do a snaking draft, where We do
Fair.
rock, paper, scissors or whatever, and we say, okay, so
Sky,
say you guys win
Sky
rock, paper,
is still
scissors
just
again.
mad that he lost rock,
Shut
paper,
up.
scissors to
Shut up.
Brandon.
No, if we say you guys win rock, paper, scissors, you guys would get the choice of either the first pick or the next two.
That's fair.
Ooh, I do like that.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so
that's a
that's
good
why I
system.
brought this whole thing up, because I want to bring up how we do the draft. Because if you guys get first, then we get next two, and then you guys would get the next two, going until we run out of SMR marbles. I feel like that would be more fair in a full draft setting.
Okay.
Maybe.
I am also down for the whole like ×3, ×2 with
We could
SMR.
also do that. That could be a thing. But if we did that, I feel like we shouldn't have a draft. We should just pick.
Yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily. Okay, we'll have to discuss. I like the draft environment.
I like the draft too. I like it a lot.
Because you guys can always do the ×3 stuff by going on the JMR thing.
Yeah.
I just want to make one more point real quick, because I really find this important. So, okay, Snowballs, they sucked. They really did. They got last thrice. I think it was 3 times. That's a lot. That's really bad. Okay, so, I mean, there's no arguing that. It's true. But they still didn't finish that bad. They finished final standings. I had it up here a second ago. They finished 6th out of 12. So for a team that got last 3 times, like they finished 12. And so this brings me to one of the points I've been kind of exploring over the last few episodes in general, is that usually my fallback is consistency wins Marble Leagues, but and I still think consistency is massively important. But I'm not sure if I should also be saying that gold medals win Marble Leagues. Snowballs are the only team to have 2 gold medals. They have a silver. So they had 3 overall. So definitely better than a bunch
Wrap
of the
it
other
up,
teams.
guys.
I mean, 2 gold medals. It's extremely important. It's extremely important to have medals. I mean, fine, whatever. I know we're way over time, but I really want to make that point. Gold medals do win Marble Leagues, and even though the Snowballs did so bad, they had 2 golds, and that's how they finished middle of the pack.
Hector, you had something real quick.
I was more just wanting to say we can agree to disagree about the Snowballs, but I just wanted to say thank you so much to Brendan and Wolf for joining us for this episode. This has been an amazing collaboration. I know I wasn't on the first part of this. Decker has been taken ill, so I'm honoured to replace him for the Let It Roll collaboration crew. But this has been an amazing collaboration with you guys, so thank you so much for getting
I feel the
into this
same
with us.
way. Like, this
I think
has been great.
Wolf was telling me before the episode he did have a bar beat song to maybe end this on.
Before we do that, I just want to say, first I want to say thank you, like, Oz as well for this, because like this got me into Let It Roll, and I've enjoyed it a whole lot. So.
Oh yeah, man, we love you, bud.
But yeah, anyways,
Brendan
my new
not
favorite.
so much. Unless he has a good bar beat song. I mean, yeah, Brendan, you got a good bar beat song?
Listen, I'm not as good as Waff out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
My new favorite Marbeat song is their cover of Bye Bye Bye, but only it's Roll Bye Bye. You know, it goes kind of like, I wanna see you out that door rolling bye 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 bye.
Don't wanna be a roll
I've
for
heard that one
you.
before.
Just another player in this game for 2.
It's gonna be a classic one day, trust me.
You may roll by me, but ain't no lie, baby. Roll by
bye bye bye. Yeah.
Banger, dude. I play that when I brush my hair and my beard. Hey, Brendan, you got a bar beat song before we let it roll?
I didn't prepare one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, it seems
I come in, I hit hard with the analysis on Marble Sports. I'll let Waff do the singing and the dancing and Miss Triathlon, okay?
Are we officially done?
So since you don't have one, I've actually come prepared with it's a cover of Pearl Jam, which
oh nice.
It's a even roll.
Okay, my brother's at the door. I gotta go. Bye.
Wait, should I stop my recording?
And with that, let us just let it roll.
Okay.
And with that,
let's let it roll. We've lost 2 people already. Let's just end this here. Thank you guys for listening.